Okay, so today I want to talk about my bike ride. This is the averages. And now we're going to go back into our PNOE testing. These are my individual training zones. And each zone has its own benefits. You can see them on there as well. Each zone will have a heart rate range. And what I realized after paying attention to my bike ride is that generally when I ride my bike, I am pretty much always in zone 4 or 5 for my training, which is great for burning calories, total calories, but for me, it actually isn't all that great because I am predominantly only burning carbs. And if I'm not eating a lot of carbs, then my body is going to be breaking down its own muscle, which is something that we've seen in training. So you can see these are all of the individual zones for myself. And as you can see, my zone 2 training is actually very low heart rate. So it's 92 to 108, which is actually challenging to do, especially when you enjoy activities like riding your bike or running or the Stairmaster or doing anything like that. So now let's look at the energy consumption and fueling. So like I said, zone 4 and 5, I'm predominantly doing nothing but burning carbs. And then your zone 1 and 2 is when I'm generally burning more fat as fuel. And during my cut, I want to be using more fat as fuel so that I can maintain my muscle mass but lose my body fat and see what's underneath. So you can also then use this to calculate exactly how many calories I've burnt during that exercise. So we'll do that shortly. And I think that's what we're doing right now, actually. So we're going to go in and we'll take a look at this. So again, on average, 143 beats per minute. It's saying that I burnt 332 calories. On average, I rode a an average speed of 8.6 and a high of 16.1. And it's telling me that 18% of that ride was spent in a fat burning zone. And if we keep going, we will then, and I also rode for 42 minutes and 57 seconds, so we'll round it up to 43, because honestly, it wasn't a full 43 minutes of riding. It was riding, stop, let's get the heart rate back down, riding, stop. Like I said, it was more HIIT style training. So if we go back to the calculator, so we can type in, sorry, I got a little confused there for a second, 43, multiply it by my average consumption of calories during that time frame, which is going to be zone 4, right? Double checking that it was zone 4. Scroll down here, and now we can see in zone 4, on average, I consume about 11 calories per minute. So multiply it by 11, and you can see I actually burnt 473 calories on that bike ride. So I actually burnt more calories than what the app suggested, which is usually it's the other way around. Normally, you're not burning as many calories as they project. So this is actually not a bad thing for me, but again, you can see how important it is to actually have that data, have this data. And if I was using this with an elite, so I'm a hot mess, don't mind me, okay? But as I was saying, it is super important for you to get that customized view that into your own training program, because what you have been doing may or may not be actually serving your goals. So obviously, over the last 6 years of my competitions, I have been using predominantly walking on the treadmill and bike riding as my modes of cardio for for burning. And obviously, I have been doing myself disservice by doing the bike riding, because the bike riding, or doing as much of the bike riding as I was doing, because the bike riding, I'm doing nothing but burning carbs. So if I don't have the carbs to fuel it, my body is probably breaking down its own muscles. So I am losing the thing that I've worked so hard to develop. So, and then if you are doing cardio post exercise, so if I were to go and try to do zone 2 training now, I'd be going at a much slower rate than I was previously, like let's say first thing in the morning, because my heart rate is already elevated, so it hasn't completely come down yet. So anyway, so that's another key thing to consider. And what's going to help me improve my fat max and increase it is by doing these interval trainings, as well as doing the majority of my cardio in zone 2. So for me, that is silly low, and it's just going to end up being a lot of walking on the treadmill for the most part, making sure that my heart rate does not get above 108. All right, so hopefully this was informative for you guys. It was certainly eye-opening for me, and thank you guys for listening. We'll talk all soon.